So the next coin we'll take a look at is Ethereum, and we'll also analyze Ethereum's social dominance over the course of the most recent market cycle. So here we see Ethereum's price chart in green. This is from the very beginning of January 2021 all the way into late January 2022. In pink, we see Ethereum's social dominance, essentially its control over the social circles and overall percentage of the total crypto social space. Now, taking a look here, for the most part, before January, before 2021, we saw Bitcoin overall really had a great command over the social space of crypto, really maintaining about 40%, 30%, maybe even higher of the overall social space and conversation. We see Ethereum here reaching highs within January of about 23%. This coincides with its overall dramatic price increase. We see prices going up, and overall interest has gone up as well. Now, while there was a bit of a slope here and a fall down to extreme low levels and around early February, this was essentially corrected. Social dominance quickly increased back up to about the 15-16% area, really focusing in and controlling. Ethereum is basically the second in command to Bitcoin in terms of price, and not only in terms of price and market capitalization, but also in command and in terms of social dominance. It has the second largest following and basically conversation control of the crypto circle and space. So here we see as price is going up, we also see social dominance going up, but we also see greater variance. We're seeing more extremes, and a really extreme spike here was observed in late April, and this can coincide with Ethereum's price action. Really, we could say from about early April, Ethereum broke this $2,000 barrier and really just shot up to about 4,000, maybe about 4,300, give or take on the exchange. But this was done very quickly compared to other periods where there's much more of a gradual climb, a lot more back and forth. Really, Ethereum just went straight up here, really went parabolic, vertical movement, if you will. Now, we do see that this was clearly not sustained. Ethereum reached a peak in early May and then swiftly came crashing down, and really this could be attributed to Bitcoin's fall. Remember, Bitcoin being the first mover in the cryptocurrency market, it is the market leader. So wherever Bitcoin goes in whichever direction, the others follow to greater variance. Now, looking into Q2, Q3, particularly around June, July, we do see a bottoming out of Ethereum's price, and we also see much more stabilization in terms of social dominance from Ethereum. Really, here is where Ethereum really maintains a tight range from a low of about 7% to a high of about maybe 11-12%, less degrees of variation which we saw in Q1 and Q2, where social dominance was really much more volatile. Here we saw a much more condensing of social dominance, in addition to a condensing of Ethereum's price action. Now, finally, we saw in July and August the turnaround of the reversal of the overall cryptocurrency space, and we do see a spike in social volume, social dominance seen here in early August. Now, this could be attributed to Ethereum's hard fork, the London hard fork that it was called. It was entitled that it essentially would include changes to Ethereum's fee structure and how the gas would be appropriated towards miners who are processing transactions, and a host of other factors. Now, this update essentially garnered a lot of attention in the media. A lot of people were talking about it. Ethereum is finally going to implement a deflationary protocol, so that means that Ethereum is going to be taken out of circulation and burned with every transaction. Now, as a result from this spike, Ethereum did continue to see price action increases, although there's a variety of reasons why this occurred. Now, here we do see a spike in volume, in social volume here, and this could be observed and attributed to the Evergrande situation. Global markets were falling, or essentially providing a pullback or a correction, if you will. Here we see Ethereum did pull back to just under about $3,000, give or take, and finally would continue onward to achieve new all-time highs. What's interesting here is that as Ethereum did continue on into Q3 and Q4 price action, we do see a much more consolidation in terms of its social dominance. While it is relatively higher than what it was in the summer of 2021, this Q3, Q4 price action is much more consolidated and really moving within a tighter range compared to Q1, and also even here, which we observed in the run-up to the EIP 559 release in August. So some key takeaways with Ethereum here. Ethereum social dominance started strong in January. It reached a new high of about 25% of the social share, but fell going into February, even though price continued to increase. The fall of social dominance can be attributed to altcoins gaining a larger share of the space, including smart contract competitors such as Cardano and others. In Q2 2021, Ethereum saw a massive price increase in April, along with a spike in social dominance to correlate with that, where it overtook Bitcoin's share of the social space. That's where we saw a crossover. Bitcoin's overall social dominance has decreased within 2021, especially in Q2 2021, and Ethereum only has continued to risen overall. Now, Q2 into Q3, Ethereum suffered losses from the overall crypto market crash. This could be due to a variety of factors, but the simplest way to understand is that Bitcoin crashed, Ethereum is going to follow. Ethereum social dominance returns to baseline levels, fluctuating to about 10% of the total crypto social space. Now, for some variety and to compare and contrast, we're going to take a look at a smart contract competitor to Ethereum. Now, this is the Cardano coin. ADA is the ticker symbol for Cardano. Once again, the green is the price action of Cardano, and the pink is the social dominance. We're looking over the same range, same time period range from the beginning of 2021 into late January 2022. So here we see Cardano really really has seen tremendous valuation gains throughout 2021, from a low of about 17 cents and reaching a high of about $3 per Cardano token in September 2021. And a big contribution to that, big factor to that, was its release and implementation of smart contract functionality, which we saw in August and into September. And we do see a spike here. Going backwards a little bit, starting from the beginning of the year, we do see an overall gradual increase in Cardano's social dominance. We do see a spike here in early March, and this could be attributed to the release of Cardano on a variety of exchanges. It could be, it recently was released on Coinbase, and Coinbase is a major exchange. It's the second largest exchange in the world in terms of transaction volume. We do see this spike, but ultimately a decrease in social dominance. Not as much people were talking about it, even though price continued to increase. So here we see a divergence. Prices going up and continuing to produce new highs, higher highs and higher lows, whereas social dominance is coming down. Less people are involved and less people are interested. This could be a correlation with the general downtrend, possible speculative bubble that we saw with Bitcoin. And then finally, in June and July 2021, during the downtrend, the overall crypto downtrend, we do see Cardano's price stabilize around $1.20, give or take. And we do see Cardano's social dominance essentially stabilize to around 3%, give or take, of the total crypto market space. Now, going into Q3, we do see August with a dramatic price increase. And this is really off the news of the implementation of smart contracts for Cardano. And here we do see a tremendous increase in social dominance to correlate with that. Prices going up. There's news of this new smart contract functionality that's going to really place Cardano as a true competitor to what Ethereum can offer. Right? And that's really what makes Ethereum special. It's a blockchain that provides the smart contract capability where you can make NFTs, you can make decentralized exchanges, other decentralized applications, games, and more. All of that is built upon smart contract functionality. So for another blockchain to come out and to implement this successfully is a big deal in the crypto space. And as we see, there was a tremendous spike in social dominance for Cardano, reaching about 13% and correlating with its price growth. And then finally, after reaching this peak of about $3, Cardano has gradually fallen from that high all the way to about $1 in the current day, current valuation. We do see Cardano still relatively remaining and holding true to its 3% allocation of social dominance that we saw in the summer and before that. Time will tell to see where this coin will go, and in terms of social dominance, I do know that it is a fan favorite. There are a lot of people who are Cardano fans out there. So we'll have to see how the social dominance metrics shape up going into 2022. So key points. Q1, we saw Cardano gradually increase in price from about 17 cents to $1.30 as social dominance spikes alongside with it and correlates where Cardano made up about 21% of the crypto space in late February. Q2, Cardano price action relatively stagnant, consolidating in the $1.20 range before spiking to a high of $2.40 during the April and May market run-up. Social dominance matches Cardano's price action where it increased and then finally fell back down during the Q2 to Q3 price fall in May and June. Cardano's price falls alongside with the rest of the market to a support level about $1.20, give or take, and social dominance remains at about 3%. This seems to be Cardano's baseline.